no one cares how offended you are anymore. We can all see what everyone grounded in reality can see. Biden is struggling. It's not that he's old, it's that his mental capacity has been diminished. It is very clear to people, and we're talking about, what are we doing? Jake, like, we're just going along with things. Like the country is just moving along as if President of the United States isn't like the most important job in the country / world.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Well, television is a propaganda box.
Ana Kasparian is continuing her tirade against the woke left. In this video, we have Ana Kasparian going after Sunny Hostin and the rest of The View for their absolutely insane statements about Jon Stewart and just the whole political landscape in general. Let's get into this clip here from the Young Turks of Ana Kasparian going off on Sunny Hostin and The View.
I think what's so offensive to me, I love that Jon Stewart is back, but what's so offensive to me is there's a difference between age and intelligence. The problem with this country is that we don't value people with their wisdom. We don't value seniors. We don't value octogenarians. Okay, and I'm sick of this ageism problem.
Sunny Hostin, one of the hosts on The View, was not happy with comedian Jon Stewart's recent coverage of.
You know what's funny though? They like to defend Joe Biden by saying things like this. Sunny Hostin, Whoopi Goldberg, The View, everybody who's like that. They like to defend Joe Biden by saying this is ageism. We don't respect seniors and stuff like that. But now it's Kamala running against Trump, and all they can talk about is how old Trump is. You notice how quick that switch flips whenever it's the other way around? There's no morals involved in this thing. It's just simply, how can my side win? What do I have to say? Doesn't matter if it's lies, cheating, doesn't matter. How can I get my side to win? That's it.
Biden's very obvious mental decline. We all see it. And even went so far as to call that kind of criticism ableist. And she's very offended by it. These politics kind of worked several years ago. No one cares how offended you are anymore. We can all see what everyone grounded in reality can see. Biden is struggling. It's not that he's old, it's that his mental capacity has been diminished. It is very clear to people, and we're talking about, what are we doing? Jake, like, we're just going along with things. Like the country is just moving along as if President of the United States isn't like the most important job in the country / world.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Well, television is a propaganda box. And so, guys, think about what she's saying. So if you said, hey, about a politician or a political figure that's doing pretty well in their 80s, I think Bernie Sanders is doing well. He seems like he's in good shape.
Too old, according to the same Democrats who are now saying that Biden is not too old.
By the way, they said Bernie Sanders was too old like 8 years ago. Those same exact Democrats, and they didn't find it offensive at all.
Nope,
right?
Not offended at all by that.
But Bernie's still giving fiery speeches and isn't forgetting anything, etc. On the other hand, how about if we said it about Dianne Feinstein? In fact, I did say it about Dianne Feinstein. They said offensive. She had completely lost her mind. She was not in early onset dementia. She was in very late stage dementia. Couldn't remember a thing. Couldn't remember things right in front of camera. Would repeat the same thing she just said because she couldn't remember from 1 second ago. And the propagandists on television told you, no, don't believe your lying eyes. Dianne Feinstein is an amazing senator from California. Wonderful. We should not take her away. No way. Until she finally just keeled over. But we were being ageist.
And sexist and whatever ist or ism they could throw at you to silence you. And I'm sick of that tactic.
Well, it's not the fact that they are actually caring about these older people and people, you know, discriminating based on age or anything like that. Because anytime it's a Republican that is old, well, they say, we need age limits, we need term limits on these people's positions in office. So, I mean, yeah, even people like Ana Kasparian and Cenk Uygur just see right through this stuff. And I'm so glad that there's at least some voices of somewhat reason on the left. Like this is well needed. I know everybody wants Ana Kasparian to just come over to the right, you know, become conservative and stuff like that. But it's actually, in my opinion, better to have Ana Kasparian on the left because she calls out the left from a leftist perspective and says, you guys are being idiots. And she's still a leftist. So it's not like they can just say, oh, you racist Republican, it doesn't matter what you say. No, she's a leftist. And she's calling out these people because they have just gone so far past being a leftist. They're just they're clinically insane.
I'm sick of that tactic. Do you guys, I mean, I've said this before on the show. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to keep repeating it. The labeling someone one of the isms to intimidate them and silence them and prevent them from saying things you don't want to hear, it's a tired tactic at this point, and it's not working.
And it almost always used by the elites.
Always.
And the people that use it most against is, sure, right-wingers, okay? But second is progressives.
No, they use it all over
Right.
the place, Cenk. It's all over the place. It's directed at anyone who says anything they don't like.
Right, the powerless, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
If you're among the powerful, no, they're protected by the isms. If you're the powerless, you're the isms, okay? So look, last thing on the H in terms of the specific examples that Sunny Hostin gave, she later said, there's people who are old who are still doing great, like Nancy Pelosi. Have you guys seen Nancy Pelosi on TV lately? She's a hot mess. She can't put two sentences together. And then they asked her why she's so mad at the pro-Palestinian protesters who want to protect their lives. She said they're Russian agents and later said they were sent by China. That's your example of someone who's doing great in their 80s?
That's the talking points bleeding together. That's, oh, Trump is sold out to China. Oh, Trump is sold out to Russia. And they're bleeding together because she's old and her brain doesn't function the same. And they never actually believed any of this stuff anyway. It's all just brainwashing. It's all just, oh, these are the talking points to defeat Trump. Let me just memorize these. And because they've been saying them for so long, they are just drilled into their heads. And now because her brain isn't functioning, they're all just bleeding together. So that's why that's happening. It's very obvious to anyone with a brain. It blows my mind that anyone can watch The View. And it's very obvious to anyone with a brain, even Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian are able to see just right through immediately that Sunny Hostin, Whoopi Goldberg, The View, none of these woke lunatics out there truly care about anything except for their side winning. They will call you all these names for saying Biden's old, his brain doesn't work anymore. And then whenever it comes to Trump, what is their number one criticism now that he's running against Kamala Harris? He's old. And he's weird. That's what they love to say for some reason. That's very, it's just it's like they're middle schoolers. Like that's what a sixth grader would come up with to say about Trump. How do you feel about Donald Trump? Oh, he's kind of weird. Like that's what a sixth grader would say. And that's what their main marketing tactic is to defeat Trump and JD Vance. And then they're also calling him very, very old. After they just had a meltdown about people calling Joe Biden old, too old to run for office again. And they were saying that they're ageist and ableist and all the other istophobes in the book. It's so obvious. It blows my mind that people can still watch The View. Like who is their audience? Somebody tell me, please.
No, they're all protecting incredibly old politicians because they're the powerful. And the job of every host on television is to kiss the ass of the powerful.
So Sunny Hostin, to be fair to her, I don't know if she ever brought up Bernie's age in the past as being a problem, but in this same segment later on, she gave Bernie Sanders and Nancy Pelosi as examples of politicians who are up there in age and are doing a great job. I don't know about Nancy Pelosi, but okay, fine.
No, not.
If you're fed up with all the woke nonsense happening in the world like I am, go check out bringtheasteroid.shop, where we just released some new designs that look great and also allow you to express to everyone that you are just tired of the direction that America is going in right now. And that you're just like me and many others that watch this channel and watch Bring the Asteroid as well. And you just want it to go back to how it used to be. Check out bringtheasteroid.shop. We are limited on supplies for this drop. So if you want one, I would suggest that you go ahead and act soon. Let's get back to the video.
Fine, she's a disaster.
She is a disaster, but look, yeah, she is. Okay, but anyway, I do want to get back to Jon Stewart, who also, to be fair, happens to be powerful in his own right, right? He's part of the elite.
Yeah, but that's part of why they're so mad at him. They're like, you're violating, the elites have a club, and there's only one rule in the club: never attack anyone else in the club.
What about Bill Maher, by the way? Bill Maher's been talking about Biden's age. In fact, Bill Maher recently in his podcast.
But Bill Maher is like a fence sitting. Like whenever he goes against the left, it's not even that he's going full like anti-Biden or anti-woke or anything like that. It's like, oh, Bill Maher is going to sit on the fence for a second and he's going to push back a little bit on what his podcast guest says. That's normally how Bill Maher goes against the programming, goes against the code of the elite, as Cenk Uygur was saying there. But Ana Kasparian's asking, what about Bill Maher? Bill Maher never really goes that hard on Biden or on anybody in the left, anybody in the club that Cenk's talking about. He just kind of fence sits instead of going super pro woke, super in the woke direction like you're supposed to. Every single time you speak, you're supposed to become more and more woke. And if you don't do that, you're kicked out of the club. You're violating the code of the club. So that's why Bill Maher is not criticized as much, and why The View will have Bill Maher on as a guest and stuff like that. But Jon Stewart just straight up trashing Joe Biden, that's where they draw the line, because like Cenk is saying, they're violating the code of conduct of the club. Let me know in the comments what you think about what Ana Kasparian had to say about Sunny Hostin and the rest of The View losing their minds because Jon Stewart torched Joe Biden. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole Ana Kasparian versus The View situation.